Sportsnet New York, home of the Mets, says, who's the most random Met player you could think of right now? Of course, anytime you ask of obscurity, I think of Joe McEwing. McEwing, who would wear 47 for the majority of his time as a Met, then he came back in 2003, wore the number 11. But I think of McEwing because of his obscurity. I think of his amazing ability. Obscurity is he wasn't really well known, although he should have been. He played every position for the Mets in the early 2000s, late 90s. He also did, he played catcher, he went to left field, he played all these different positions. Also had a 25-game hit streak his rookie year as a Cardinal. And by the way, he didn't do too bad on the Mets either. He took Randy Johnson deep at Shea Stadium when Johnson was a Diamondback, and he was Irish American. And I was thinking to myself, let me read up more about Joe McEwing. Turns out he is part of the Irish American Baseball Society. Now, I'm a big baseball fan, right? I actually wore the Yankees cap all over Ireland when I went 12 years ago. But I never knew that there was an Irish American Baseball Society that includes so many prominent names. Dave O'Brien, Steve Garvey, Joe McEwing. You can actually watch 3 Things We Learned from Joe McEwing at the Irish American. He just was in the society last year. And the Irish American Baseball Society promotes the game of baseball in Ireland and celebrates the contributions of Irish Americans in America. The IABS is a nonprofit subsidiary of the Baseball United Foundation. Our members include players and coaches at all levels of amateur and professional baseball, as well as MLB broadcasters, journalists, and executives, and fans like you. IABS is a nonprofit subsidiary of Baseball Foundation, Federal Tax ID 204623222. So this is a society, and you can find out more at irishbaseball.org. But up until now, and I've followed baseball, and I've followed sort of the Irish community a lot more over the last few years since the trip to Ireland, that I never knew this existed until, thank God, I found it today. And so McEwing is part of the society. And where this gets even more interesting today is 21 years ago, July 18th, 1999, David Cone, 27 up, 27 down, baseball immortality happened as John Sterling called it. And it was through rain delays. And it was on Yogi Berra Day, Yogi's return to the Bronx. Don Larson throwing that first pitch to Yogi behind the plate as if it was 1956 all over again. And David Cone is also Irish, and he just 6 years ago was inducted into the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame. You want to know more about them? irishbaseballhall.net. And so for Irish Americans, both disabled and baseball players to be recognized in America is so cool, especially talking about this in the 30th year of the ADA. Amazing times had the physically challenged Irish American youth team really inspired those who wanted to be independent, to live on their own, to enjoy their time in Ireland with supervision, sure, but also just being yourself. And I think that's what the ADA month is, to inspire others to be themselves and live out their disability, live out God's purpose for them, God's image that they made them in daily. And I am proud to say on this podcast, on this vlog, I am Irish American. And I'm so proud of it. And that there are outlets that honor Irish Americans, the contributors to the society, on the diamond as well.